What's up, family? Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Let me see who in here. Give y'all some time. Give y'all some time. Hello, family. Hello, hello, hello. Come on in here, family. Come on in here. Come on, family. Come on. Come on in, family. We're going to have a good show. Um, we're going to have a PrecepTiKans on. I'm sorry I did not have this pre-scheduled. It's been a long and rough week. So I am sitting here now with my sparkling grapefruit sparkling water by Nature's Promise. 0 calories. Sitting here with my little canned sparkling water and wait for the Percepticons to come on. You know they're gonna come on here with that. Y'all know that noise they make. They're gonna talk about me, ain't they? Y'all know that noise they make. What's up? Y'all family, I'm just out of it today. I'm really, it's been a long week. And it's gonna be an even longer week next week. So it's gonna be just keep me lifted, family. It's gonna be a long week next week. But I'm waiting for the Percepticons to come on the scene. Come on, brothers. Let me get the link to them. I was going to see if they were going to be in the chat. So let me get this link to them and we can get started. Let me get my link. Get that link. Copy. I got to be careful, y'all crazy people. All right. Let me see. Let's get Yeremy in here. Let's get Yeremy. Come on, brother. I just sent him the link. We're going to make sure Rio got some act right today. Let's get him in here. All right, family. Y'all coming on in here. Come on, come on. You know what? Let me add a little extra to my little live so I can draw people in here. I forgot I got to do my little tags. Hold on. My little edit video. Add my little tags in here. It draws people. All right. Come on in, family. I'm waiting on the masses. Oh, saints, as y'all can hear it, I am out of it. Right now, I am so exhausted. I'm not really exhausted. I don't want to say exhausted. I'm not exhausted. It's just my brain is tired. You know how you've had one of them long. I didn't know we both. Everybody goes live at the same time. Um, Somebody said, "Why are you and Zadok going live at the same time?" That was an accident. I wasn't even thinking about that. But y'all, you know how you have a brain exhaustion or some brain exhausting day or a week rather. Tomorrow I'm just not gonna even just I'm gonna just sit in one spot and don't think. Even though I gotta get my tire fixed, so there's a nail in my tire of my truck. So I'm just like, oh, whew. But I'm gonna get triple A to put the spare on because I ain't doing nothing. Um, Work has been exhausting, just everything. Saints, if y'all just saw how I look right now, y'all be like, "Is Sister E all right?" I'm like exhausted. I am definitely running on E, but drinking my little fruit water. Stay hydrated. Y'all know I love me a good old fruit water. Ooh, I love me a good old fruit water. I got the grapefruit. Really, I got the watermelon and the grapefruit. I'm down to one watermelon. So I'm trying to hold on to that. And I'm drinking the grapefruit. Oh, happy y'all. Guess what? I found me a grocery store. I'm finna do all my grocery shopping. There's a bunch of grocery stores in Queens. I'm going to Queens to do all my grocery shopping. That's why I bought this little can of water. And it was cheap too. It was like $3.49. If I think like I want to say six. If I would have got that in Brooklyn or Manhattan, it would have been $5. I sent the link. You hear me? I texted to you if that's you. But I drop it here. Alrighty. Hold on, my laptop about to die. Man, yeah, Queens got the best grocery shopping. Man, yeah, I promise y'all, I got 4 bags full of groceries, and that's all I spent was $123. 4 bags. 4 bags of groceries in Brooklyn or Manhattan would have cost me $300 or $250 rather. But 4 bags in Queens was like 4 big bags, not plastic bags, but the big tall paper bags. Because you know they don't do plastic really no more. I spent $123, so I was happy about that. So here we go. Hello, Yirmi, y'all.
Yo,
What's up?
let me change my thing, man. This is serious. This is serious. This is a serious topic here, right?
Oh, thank you. Good to hear your voice. A funny and peace after last night. Disappointing thing. What happened last night? Disappointing thing. Light bringer, sis. Oh, thank you so much. I'm a light bringer. Thank you. But what happened last night? Are y'all talking about what happened with Kari and getting suspended? I don't know. I was gonna talk about that too. I'm gonna talk about that probably this weekend. Man, we was in some area called Glen something, New York. It's Queens. Yep. Fire grocery shopping there. I'm good. I'm done shopping inside of the city. Everything shall be done in Queens. All right. Ashai,
Yo,
hello.
Shalom, 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 everybody. Shalom, Sister E. Thanks for having me on your show. I'm
Welcome.
excited. It's about to get meaty.
So introduce yourself, sis.
So I'm Sister Ashaya. I don't know what else to what else to really go into about that. I'm a Precepticon, I guess, for kind of been dealing with these brothers for I guess almost a year now. Um, so, when Brother Jeremiah kind of brought this book to my attention, I thought that we had kind of been talking about it for a few months before I even bought the book, and then once I started reading the book, I was like, "Wow, this is incredible!" Because sometimes he would joke with me, but jokingly serious, talking and telling me I'm a feminist, and I would be like, "No, I'm not a feminist." But once I started reading this book and really starting to understand what feminism was and where it was derived from and what it was developed to do, I started to realize some of those characteristics that I kind of was dealing with internally. So yeah, I'm just trying to learn and listen, and hopefully I'll have some things to add to the story. But I'm just like the rest of y'all. I'm excited to hear what Brother Jeremiah is about to bring out, and here to learn. So
All right, welcome,
God,
sis. Welcome, welcome. You hear me? Y'all, they already know who you are, Jeremiah. Go ahead and tell
God.
yourself.
Yeah, so first and foremost, man, I want to give all praise and honor to Abinah Yahweh Bashem Mashiach Yahushua, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, for this opportunity. It was very interesting today, this morning, early this morning, Sister E. Oh, yo, we need to get um Brother Karath. Do we got the information, Sister Shia?
Khan, he's already streaming it on Clubhouse right now. So
All right,
everything
so
you're, yep.
all right, Con. So we're live on Clubhouse too. So shout out to the Grand Rising Room, right? Very interesting that we and usually these conversations are are happening regularly. You understand? And no disrespect to anyone, but it's people are formulating their opinions, Sister E, based upon a lack of information, right?
Yep.
So I don't want to offend anybody. I don't want to call anyone ignorant, but it is from a place of ignorance, a place of a lack of information. Let me say it more friendly, right? On the realities in which we find ourselves in as American citizens, right? Uh, Regardless of whether it be a black experience or a white experience, um, it's not about that, right? But knowing that we are what you would call second class citizens, the majority of us, we have certain people of our people that have garnered certain levels of success. So I don't want to, misrepresent, some of the achievements that our people have made. You understand? Um, but what we have to take in consideration is the conversation that ensued was the fact that, well, the black man basically should pull himself up by his bootstrap. You understand? He should he should stop blaming the white man, stop blaming others. And, to a certain degree, I agree with that. The thing is that when it comes to the conditions that we find ourselves in as American citizens, it's imperative that I make that clear. That the information that is going to be brought out tonight is going to show that the wealthy and those that have great influence here in America actually orchestrate the realities in which we find ourselves in through democracy and also through capitalism. What are these things and what are these terms and what are these terminologies? There's a major movement of uproar concerning quote unquote anti-Semitism, right? So the idea that I simply identify people doing certain things and I make mention of their race, right, or their religious practice, don't get mad at me, get mad at Wikipedia. Because correct me if I'm wrong, Sister E, if you look up people's information on Wikipedia, do they not give their race and religious practices? Do they? Is that not public information?
Yep, that's public information.
Okay, so what we're saying is it's not our attempt to be anti-Semitic. It's our goal to first and foremost to understand that we have to be able to prove that the current realities are orchestrated. They're orchestrated. So we're going to go into several clips because I have to first make it clear what that entails. Who were the people that were involved? Okay. And I'm going to send you something right now, Sister E. I want you to look this up.
Okay.
See, a lot of people don't understand that America's psychotherapists and psychoanalysts play a major role in the development of the realities in which we live here in America, right? For the chat, I would like everyone to put a 7 in the chat if you are familiar, right? If you're familiar with Edward Bernays, put a 7 in the chat if you don't know who Edward Bernays is. Put a 7 if you've never heard of Edward Bernays. Put a 7 in the chat if you've never heard of him. Right? What about Sigmund Freud? Sigmund Freud. Put a 7 in the chat if you've never heard of Sigmund Freud. See, we're going to go into this family tree. And I use the word family not to say that all these people are related, but to say that these people all stem from a certain ideology. And this ideology has actually framed the reality of America, and we're going to go into it. So we're going to watch this first 17-minute clip. We're going to go into other clips to substantiate our point, culminating to us going into this book, Cruel Hoax. It all links together, Sister Shaya. It's amazing. That who is the primary figure in the feminist movement? Do anyone know who the primary figure in the feminist movement is? You can put the answer in the chat. Who created the feminist movement? Right? Make sure you put the fair use up there. The water to Wes, who let us know that. Make sure you put the fair use. We're about to go into clips. Right? Right? So, what about the sexual revolution? Who's responsible for that? Right? Who created, or who's the owner of Playboy? Huh? How does he fall in line with the psychoanalyst movement? And when did this start? And who are the key players and figures? We're about to go into this information tonight, family. I pray that you all are able to receive this information because it's of necessity of the first to uncover that, right? And for us to be able to now come to our current time and be able to dialogue with our brothers and sisters so they can at least know that in order for us to overcome the things that are plaguing us, we have to come to the realization that there are actual programs that are in place to keep us oppressed. And I'm not just talking about black people, I'm talking about the American citizen. All right. So, Sister E, if you can give me Isaiah 47 and 1. Isaiah 47 and 1. I want to start there. Before we go, I want to read this. While you're getting that, I want to read this Colossians. Right? This is Colossians. Chapter 2, verse 17, and it reads. Salakia, 3 and 17. Colossians chapter 3, verse 17, and it reads, whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of a Mashiach Yahushua, giving through water to the Elohim, to the Abanawi Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach Yahushua. Right? In translation, it reads, and whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God and the Father by him. Right? Can you read that, Sister E? Give me the first 3 verses. Isaiah 47 and 1.
Hold on, I'm trying to find my glasses. I set them down. Hold on.
Okay. So while she's getting there, brothers on Clubhouse this morning was telling me that nobody is working to control people. That's a conspiracy theory. Nobody is concerned with what you people are doing. That got to be so far from reality. And that's why we're trying to show you tonight. Right? Sister Shia, can you read that? Isaiah 47 and 1.
Go ahead. Okay, I go here read. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Take the millstone and the grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man.
So the Bible says that her nakedness shall be uncovered, her legs shall be made bare. What is this in reference to? All of the secret deals that was going on behind the scenes, the Lord is going to uncover it. Now, this video that we're watching is actually on YouTube, so the information is out there, but we have not compiled the information and shared it from a biblical perspective, so you all can at least come to the realization of what and who, most importantly, have orchestrated the current realities in which we live as American citizens. So I want to share my screen, Sister E. All right, so this is a video that I would encourage you all to go watch in its totality. Hold on, let me do that again because it didn't give the audio. Let me do it again. I would encourage you all to go watch this in its fullness. So we're just going to pull clips to substantiate a point, and I would encourage you all to go watch this in its entirety to get the full scope of what has actually happened starting in the early 1900s. All right, I got my screen up.
He hated it. Said he wanted this started.
100 years ago, a new theory about human nature was put forward by Sigmund Freud. He had discovered, he said, primitive sexual and aggressive forces hidden deep inside the minds of all human beings. Forces which, if not controlled, led individuals and societies to chaos and destruction. This series is about how those in power have used Freud's theories to try and control the dangerous crowd in an age of mass democracy. At the heart of the story is not just Sigmund Freud, but other members of the Freud family. This episode is about Freud's American nephew, Edward Bernays. Bernays is almost completely unknown today, but his influence on the 20th century was nearly as great as his uncle's. Because Bernays was the first person to take Freud's ideas about human beings and use them to manipulate the masses. He showed American corporations for the first time how they could make people want things they didn't need by linking mass-produced goods to their unconscious desires. Out of this would come a new political idea of how to control the masses. By satisfying people's inner selfish desires, one made them happy and thus docile. It was the start of the all-consuming self, which has come to dominate our world today. Freud's ideas about how the human mind works have now become an accepted part of society, as have psychoanalysis. Every year, the psychotherapist ball is held in a grand palace in Vienna.
This is the psychotherapy ball. Psychotherapists come, some advanced patients come, or former patients come, and many other people, friends, but also people from the Viennese society who like to go to a nice, elegant, comfortable ball.
But it was not always so. 100 years ago, Freud's ideas were hated by Viennese society. At that time, Vienna was the center of a vast empire ruling Central Europe. And to the powerful nobility of the Habsburg court, Freud's ideas were not only embarrassing, but the very idea of examining and analyzing one's inner feelings was a threat to their absolute control.
You see, at that time, these people had the power. And of course, you just were not allowed to show your bloody feelings. I mean, you just couldn't. You know, I mean, you couldn't, if you were unhappy. Can you imagine, you, for instance, you sit somewhere in the country in a castle, you are deeply unhappy, you are a woman. You couldn't go to your maid and cry on her shoulders, or you couldn't go into the village and complain, you know, about your feelings. I mean, you couldn't, it was like selling yourself to somebody. You just couldn't, you know, because they had to respect you. Now, of course, Freud, you see, put that thought very much into question, because you see, to examine yourself, you would have to put a lot of other things into question, your society, everything what surrounds you. And that wasn't a good thing at that time.
Why not?
Because your self-created empire, to a certain extent, would have fallen into bits much earlier already.
But what frightened the rulers of the empire even more was Freud's idea that hidden inside all human beings were dangerous instinctual drives. Freud had devised a method he called psychoanalysis. By analyzing dreams and free association, he had unearthed, he said, powerful sexual and aggressive forces, which were the remnants of our animal past. Feelings we repressed because they were too dangerous.
Freud devised a method for exploring a hidden part of the mind, which we nowadays call the unconscious, which is a part that is totally unknown to our consciousness, that there exists a barrier in all our minds, which prevents these hidden and unwelcome impulses of the unconscious from emerging. Good night.
In 1914, the Austro-Hungarian Empire led Europe into war. As the horror mounted, Freud saw it as terrible evidence of the truth of his findings. The saddest thing, he wrote, is that this is exactly the way we should have expected people to behave from our knowledge of psychoanalysis. Governments had unleashed the primitive forces in human beings, and no one seemed to know how to stop them. At that time, Freud's young nephew, Edward Bernays, was working as a press agent in America. His main client was the world-famous opera singer who was touring the United States. Bernays' parents had emigrated to America 20 years before, but he kept in touch with his uncle and joined him for holidays in the Alps. But Bernays was now about to return to Europe for a very different reason. On the night that Caruso opened in Toledo, Ohio, America announced it was entering the war against Germany and Austria. As a part of the war effort, the US government set up a Committee on Public Information, and Bernays was employed to promote America's war aims in the press. The president, Woodrow Wilson, had announced that the United States would fight not to restore the old empires, but to bring democracy to all of Europe. Bernays proved extremely skillful in promoting this idea, both at home and abroad. And at the end of the war, he was asked to accompany the president to the Paris Peace Conference.
Then, to my surprise, they asked me to go over with Woodrow Wilson to the peace conference. And at the age of 1926, I was in Paris for the entire time of the peace conference that was held in the suburb of Paris, and we worked to make the world safe for democracy. That was a big slogan.
Wilson's reception in Paris astounded Bernays and the other American propagandists. Their propaganda had portrayed Wilson as a liberator of the people, a man who would create a new world in which the individual would be free. They had made him a hero of the masses. And as he watched the crowd surge around Wilson, Bernays began to wonder whether it would be possible to do the same type of mass persuasion, but in peacetime.
When I came back to the United States, I decided that if you could use propaganda for war, you could certainly use it for peace. And propaganda got to be a bad word because of the Germans using it. So what I did was to try to find some other words. So we found the word Council on Public Relations.
Bernays returned to New York and set up
Hold on 1 second, pause.
Hey, hold on.
a small office off Broadway.
Pause. The video they can put the video down. Hold on. Pause 1 second. Oh wow.
Wow. Oh my God, family.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I just noticed that. I'm looking, it says stream unavailable. Stream unavailable, suspended for public violations. How? What do we do?
Wow. Wow.
You just did that just now?
Yes.
Oh wow. We can't even.
Wow. Hold on. Are we not live anymore?
We're not live anymore at all.
We not live?
Mm-mm.
It says live.
It says live, but if you go to YouTube, ain't no video up.
Wow.
They canceled us?
Can anybody in the chat hear us?
No, they can't. Can y'all hear us? Hit 1. They can't hear us.
Wow.
Nope. The ones that are they coming back on?
What's
Hold up,
going on is
I'm going on Clubhouse to see.
yeah, but what do we say? We ain't got nothing. What do we do?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, don't watch the show.
Yo, Sister E, what?
No, I'm sorry.